What's good, y'all? Akil here, back with another video, and today I got a trip to the thrift for you guys. But this trip to the thrift is definitely more of a compilation from the past. I want to say maybe 3 or 4 weeks. I had a ton of footage from even before Sage was born, but as you guys know, just had my daughter and she's a month old today. So I basically took a month off just to kind of chill and just bond with her. But I'm going to try to get back into the swing of things and start putting out some more videos for you guys. But like I said, most of these items in this video, some of them already sold. A lot of them I passed on just because it was either condition reasons or whatever stuff like that. But I just kind of want to show you guys some of the stuff that I was coming across over the past month. So stay tuned because I have a few more videos coming in the pipeline. But if you guys haven't already, make sure that you guys hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, y'all, so as soon as I walked into this thrift, I was definitely overwhelmed with the amount of vintage camera lenses that they had in here. I've seen vintage lenses in the past, and I've usually picked them up depending on the brand, but I've never seen this many in one thrift store. So I spent about 20 to 25 minutes just kind of sifting through the amount of lenses and checking the brands, because when it comes to these types of lenses, you definitely have to check the comps, because some are worth some money, and then there's others that are basically, you know, selling for maybe $5-10, maybe even 20 if you're lucky. Ended up just grabbing maybe 2 or 3 of these that were Pentax lenses because it was able to fit in that Pentax camera, but the rest of them I ended up passing on, mainly because I didn't know what the mount was and just stuff like that. So next up, came across this board game called Yellowstone Treasure Quest. After checking comps on these, I seen there were a few listed, but they didn't have many sales in the last 90 days. I don't think there were any sales in the previous 90 days. And I kept checking the shelf, and then I came up on a few more of these. So I definitely wanted to take a chance on them, but I've taken chances on items just because they were multiples and ended up sitting on it for years. So I decided to just pass on all of them. But drop a comment, let me know if you guys would have took a chance on those. So next up, came up on this pair of Nike Shox, but as you guys can see, these were in pretty rough shape. If they didn't have those holes by the heel, I probably would have grabbed these up, but for that reason I ended up passing on them. And here's another really good brand, Keen. You guys know I'm always talking about this brand. Was gonna take a chance on these since they were only like $5 or $6, but after looking on the bottom, they were just a little too dirty and a little too worn, so I ended up just passing on those as well. So here was another interesting find. Came up on 3 of these trimmer straps. These are basically just for people that do some landscaping and stuff like that. I always love, like I told you guys before, I love finding multiples, especially when they're brand new in the thrift, because all 3 of these will just be one listing, so I'll be able to get these up really quickly and easily. And they were only $3.50, and I sold each of them for $25, so that was a pretty good deal for me. Came up on 2 more of these Wii controllers. They were asking $10 for these this time, so for that reason I ended up passing on them. But I grabbed up a couple of these a few days ago, and they were only like $4, so I ended up getting 2 for the price of just one that they were asking for. So next, came up on this Guitar Hero guitar, and this one isn't the one that I usually try to grab. I still sell these all the time because they usually do sell for about $30, but for that reason it has to be priced right. This one, $5, this is a really good price. Sometimes I've seen these as high as like 12 or 15, and that's when I usually pass, but since it's only 5, I'll take a chance on that. So here were some speakers, and I try to grab speakers pretty often because surprisingly some of these have a lot of value. Just depends on the brand and of course the overall condition. I believe the brand on this one was called Kerwin Vega, and after checking comps on these, I seen that they had a pretty decent resale value, especially this particular model. I'll probably sell all 4 of these together for maybe like $60 to $70, something like that, but I figured I might as well just go grab all 4 of those up and just lot them together. So this was a really good find. Came up on this Phoenix Sun snapback hat, and if I was in college or even in high school, I would have loved to find this hat. I remember these used to sell for a ton of profit. Well, at that time I used to buy them for myself, and I used to spend like $70 to $80 for hats like that. Now they're selling for right around 30, sometimes $40, depending on the condition. So I'm just gonna go ahead and grab both of these up. I know that SB hat should sell for at least $40 as well, and that Suns hat already sold, so I'll throw the comp up on the screen for you guys as well. Next up, this is something, this is more of like an antique. The only reason why I even noticed this is because I sold this exact same barometer in the past, and these in this condition I'll probably get maybe $50-60. It's definitely going to take a while, but the one I sold before was in a really good shape. It was super shiny, the brass was nice and clean, and I sold that one for $150. So if you guys can find those barometers from Schatz, definitely grab those up. Next Next up, came up on this pair of Air Max 90s in this gray and neon pink colorway. Pretty clean in my opinion, but of course they were just asking way too much money for these, asking 36 bucks, and even with that 20% off discount, just still too much money for me. These were selling closer to like 60 to 70 bucks, but sometimes I was seeing them sell for even 50, especially in this condition. So if they were a little cheaper, maybe the usual 10 bucks, I probably would have took a chance on it, but for that reason had to pass. And here was a pretty clean pair of Air Max 1s. I guess you can call these Oreos. I definitely put that in the title just to add an extra little keyword. And I've seen other resellers have these posted up for like 150, some even more than that. But of course, those were brand new. But since this pair was used, I ended up getting 100 bucks for these. So definitely happy about that. And here was a pair of Nike Air Max 270s. And the funny thing with this shoe, I don't really like this shoe in terms of comfort. Like the front of the shoe is super soft and then the back is real stiff. So it's kind of weird in my opinion, but some people actually really do like those shoes. So I'll go ahead and take a chance on those as well. And then I came up on this pair of Nike Hyper Dunks, this black and red colorway, pretty clean. And I remember selling this same pair on Poshmark a few years ago. But the downside is they were asking 40 bucks for these, so way too much money. I think that's what I ended up getting for these when I sold them on Poshmark, and it took a really long time to sell. They're definitely not as popular as I thought they were. Maybe in 2015 they were super popular, but right now they're selling for right around 50 bucks. So I ended up passing on those. And here was another pair of Air Max in this pink colorway, really clean. Once again, asking a little too much money for these. These in this particular size, maybe if it was like a regular size, like a size 8 or maybe a 9 in women's, I would have took a chance. But that 6.5 wide would have been kind of tough, so ended up just passing on it.
Oh, damn!
So here was another interesting find. Came up on this pair of motorcycle boots, and it was the strap that really stood out to me and made me even want to take a second look at them. At first I thought they were a pair of lugs, but once I seen that big strap on there, I had to check these out. And as you guys can see, the size on these was pretty small, but they were asking $17.79, so it made me want to just check the comps because they were asking a decent amount of money for these. And like I said, it was a size 7, so just based on the comps, I'll probably get maybe 70 to 80 bucks for these, but I'm sure it'll take a while since size 7 is kind of tough, but I don't find that brand pretty often, so I'm going to go ahead and take a chance on it. Same thing with this pair of Bates Vibram boots. Anytime I see boots with that Vibram bottom underneath, I usually always grab those up, and this one should sell for maybe 40 or 50 bucks as well. But decent pair of shoes in there today, but some were just overpriced in my opinion. Went to the back and came up on this vintage Nike bowling bag, and I bowl a little bit myself, but I was excited when I seen it because I instantly thought of just keeping the bag because of course it's a nice Nike bag. But at the end of the day, once I checked the comps and I seen that these were selling for like 60, 70 bucks, definitely went ahead and I grabbed this one up. I just had to clean it up a little bit, and surprisingly it sold within like 2 days. So I may have priced it a little too cheap, but it is what it is. I'm just glad that I was able to get it for so cheap. And here was a pair of Bose computer speakers, and these are actually the same style and model that's sitting on my desk right now, so I'm definitely going to grab these up. And I love finding this one in particular because these always sell for at least 70 bucks, and thankfully this one already sold for me as well, so I'm definitely going to grab those up for that $12.50. And here was another Bose speaker in the back, but this particular one just doesn't sell for that much money, and this was sitting in this Goodwill for a really long time, so pretty sure it doesn't work.
Alright y'all, that's all I have for today's video. So if you guys haven't already, make sure that you guys hit that like button. It definitely helps the channel grow. And also let me know which one was your favorite find. For me, it was definitely those Bose computer speakers because it's been a while since I came up on something really good from Bose. I sell a ton of their stuff, but at one point I was finding Bose stuff like maybe a couple times a week. Now maybe once or twice, maybe just once a week for that matter. So it's definitely not the same, but it is what it is. Anytime I do find it, it still sells really well. So definitely be on the lookout for anything Bose if you guys are hitting up your thrift stores or flea markets and places like that. But like I said, I'm going to try to hit up some more thrift stores, get back into the swing of things, be more consistent with the videos. But like I said, time flies, and I had to make sure that I just kind of shut it down for that month and just really spend time with my baby girl. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. Cause you felt like you was losing, only for the winner. Move just to keep from cooling, like only for the winner, only for the winner, only for the winner. Boy, my heart is cold, and I'm too cool to sweat it. I should've never offered it. I'm tight and now I'm off this shit. You should wanna be a real one. Earn the bases hard, I still won. Tired of wasting